All right, you know the drill. You open the fridge, you're looking for a snack, you grab that yogurt, and then you see it, the date. It expired yesterday. And immediately, that one big question pops into your head.
To eat or not to eat, right? All of a sudden, that yogurt is this huge dilemma. Is it going to make me sick? Is it totally fine? We've all been there, staring down that tiny little date on the package, letting it decide our fate.
But what if I told you that almost everything we think we know about those dates is wrong? Seriously, most expiry dates are not what you think they are. That date is almost never about the food suddenly becoming poisonous. The real story here is way, way more interesting. So let's get into it. If these dates aren't about danger, then what are they for? Well, to figure that out, we've got to take a little trip back in time, to a world where food didn't have any dates printed on it at all. Think about it. For pretty much all of human history, people just used their senses. You'd give the milk a sniff. If it smelled sour, you didn't drink it. Easy. But then in the mid-20th century, everything changed. Food started traveling these huge distances, and manufacturers needed a new system, a way to promise their customers that their product would taste the same no matter where you bought it. And that's when the date showed up, not as safety deadlines, but as markers for quality. Okay, so that brings us to the labels we see today. We're going to decode what these things really mean because, believe me, they are not all the same. All right, so there are basically 3 types of dates you'll see. First, you've got sell-by. Honestly, you can pretty much ignore this one. It's for the store, not for you. It's just for their inventory. Then there's best before. This is all about peak quality, the flavor, the texture. The food is almost always still safe to eat after this date. And then the important one, use by. Now, this is the one to pay attention to. It's a real safety warning, and you'll see it on things that go bad quickly, like fresh meat or fish. So that begs the question, right? Who actually decides on these dates? If there's no central agency stamping everything, who's in charge? The answer is probably not who you think. Get this, it's the manufacturers themselves. They set their own dates. They run tests, figure out when their product is at its absolute peak, and then they stamp a date on it. It's partly to guarantee quality, but it's also for legal protection. They're often super conservative with these dates, which means the food can be perfectly good long after the label says. And this explains so much, doesn't it? It's why so many things in your pantry last way longer than the label says. I'm talking canned goods, pasta, rice, even chocolate. And honey, that stuff is practically eternal. The dates on these things are almost entirely about quality, not a countdown to danger. Okay, so now that we know all this, what do we actually do with it? How do you decide what's good and what's not? Don't worry, I've got a super simple 4-step guide for you. All right, step 1 is easy. First, just check what kind of food you're dealing with. Ask yourself, is this a high-risk food? We're talking fresh meat, fish, that kind of stuff. If the answer is yes, then your decision is already made for you. Follow that use-by date, no questions asked. Okay, but what if it's not a high-risk food? Then we move on to step 2, inspect the package. The packaging is like the food's armor, so take a close look. Is the can bulging or badly dented? Is the plastic wrap torn? Is anything leaking? If you see any of that, it's a hard pass. Toss it. Doesn't matter what the date says. Now, if the package looks good, it's time for step 3. This is where we go back to basics and trust our senses. Yep, just like our ancestors did. Use your eyes, your nose, even your sense of touch. Does it look weird? Is the color off? Does it smell bad? Does it feel slimy? Any of those things are a huge red flag. Your body is pretty good at telling you when something's not right. And that brings us to the final step, step 4. This one is the most important rule of all. It's a classic for a reason. When in doubt, throw it out. Simple as that. Look, all this information is meant to empower you, not to make you take risks. If you're ever really not sure, just don't eat it. Safety always comes first. Okay, let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about your fridge. Understanding these labels has a massive impact on the world. Every single year, we throw away billions, that's billions with a B, of dollars worth of perfectly edible food. And a huge reason for that is just confusion over these little dates. The amount of waste is just staggering. So, when you really get what these labels mean, it's a total game changer. You're not just making smarter choices for yourself. You're actively fighting food waste, you're saving your own hard-earned money, and you're just becoming a smarter consumer all around. So, I'm curious, did this change how you see your own fridge? Are you going to look at those dates a little differently now? And hey, if you found this surprising or helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button. And of course, subscribe so you don't miss out on more deep dives into the hidden stories behind our everyday lives. So the next time you see one of those dates, just remember this. It's a guide. It's not a magic switch that turns food poisonous overnight. It's just information. And now you know how to read it.